Hello, and welcome to Big Yap Energy,
a weekly yap sesh with your new besties.
Join us to yap about everything books, pop culture, motherhood, and everything in between.
Sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's chat.
Hello, and welcome to Big Yap Energy. I'm Neely.
And I'm Kailey. Today we have a very special guest. We have author Chelsea Curto with us. Chelsea is a USA Today best-selling author of banter-filled romance novels that highlight strong women and the men obsessed with them. When she's not writing, she loves spending time between the Northeast and Florida while daydreaming about what book she's going to read next. Hey, Chelsea, welcome.
Good morning.
So happy you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, of course, when Megan, when your publicist pitched us your book, I was like, okay, say less, which we looked into. But when I was prepping for this episode, I realized I had read your holiday rom-com, Dashing All the Way.
Oh my gosh,
I had not even put two and two together. I was like, oh my gosh, the premise, y'all, if you have not read this, go on Goodreads and Google the synopsis because I was so sat for this book. From the jump, and I love a smutty holiday story, and I ate it up, and I was so happy when I finally put this together. I was like, oh my god, I can gush at her how much I love this. So
yes, I too love a smutty holiday romance.
You need to read this one. It was so good.
There's something okay, this is all right. I am very ready for school to start. I promise I'm getting to this point. And July 5th, I made a joke to my best friend. I was like, July 5th, I'll be ready for fall. Literally on July 5th, influencers that I follow, mind you, I am an influencer, Chelsea, so I feel okay to say this, start posting about Halloween. I'm like, it is 100 degrees.
Yeah.
I can't even think about Halloween without having a physical reaction to how hot it currently is.
In the middle of a heat wave.
In the middle, I mean, I live in Texas, so that's just our resting state. But and then I'm like, okay, my kids are gonna as soon as school starts, they're gonna be can we pull out a fall decor? And I'm gonna be like, I can't.
No.
I cannot do it before mid-September. Mid-September, I'm even though it's still warm, I will throw some pumpkins around the inside of the house.
Yeah.
But I cannot, even for the sake of influencer world, I cannot Halloween too early. But I will Christmas the day after Halloween.
I agree.
And then I will Christmas romance. And the reason I said that is I will start reading Christmas romances November 1st. That is my point where I'm we are holiday romance now.
And I feel that is the trend. As soon as November comes and well before December 1st, you see people recommending the holiday books, the seasonal books. And I'm I'm here for it. Dashing All the Way was just such a fun time. And it's so different from In Stormy Weather. That's one of the books I wrote because I just wanted to write it. And it's 200 pages. There's not a lot of depth to it, but it's just a good time.
No, it was vibes. And I was I am so here for this. It was, so if you're looking for great holiday vibes, 100% recommend.
I am totally fine with 200 pages. I cannot handle, I read a book, I won't name names. It was a holiday book, but it was 500 pages. And I was this is too much. I cannot do 500 pages of a very specific kind of book. I could do a 500 page,
sure, a literary something.
Yes.
I
cannot,
family drama.
I cannot do a 500 page holiday romance. That's, you can get your point across in less than 500 pages. So
it's Christmas, it snows.
Right. They bang.
Only
they
specifically
bang.
about that though. Right.
Happily ever after.
Should we do some ones? Yes. Should we do some ones and fives? Kailey, do you want to start or do you want me to start since we talked yesterday? I do have ones and fives.
No, I can go. I'm ready. We just talked yesterday, but my one is that there is swim team tonight. If you know, you know. And it's an hour away and there's supposed to be storms. So
Are you just hoping it gets canceled?
Well, the coach was it can't get canceled because everyone has to qualify for champs and tomorrow's the last day. Blah, blah, blah.
If it's lightning, they'll cancel it though. You cannot have children in a pool.
No, so what you do is you get out and you have to sit for 30 minutes and wait for it to go away. Do you not because you weren't really a sports kid, right? Or I
did swim team, but it was an indoor, our swim team we did.
Was 30 minutes you have to wait. But then if you're waiting and then it gets to minute like 28 and it lightnings again or thunders, the clock starts over. So like we could be sitting, and I was like, well, what point do we just like call it? Like, am I going to sit in my car for an hour and a half? This is my preemptive one. It's going to be fine. We just talked yesterday, so I don't know if I have a 5. Oh, maybe my 5 is like I'm going on vacation next week with no children and just my husband. But it's a work trip.
Wait,
we're going to call it vacation.
Oh, wait. I knew about this.
This is like we're going to Lake Geneva, which I've never been.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. I'll like lay by the pool and then like make small talk at dinner and like live my best life. So
didn't you just go on one of those
in April?
Okay, because I feel like
I was like, it's not as fun as it sounds because it's a lot of like small talk with like the other wives of the companies and stuff. And by day 2, Chelsea, like, you can do the intro, like, oh my gosh, how are you? Like, how are your kids?
Yep.
How are things? Like, I've met these people like once or twice. But then by the second day or like the third day, I'm like, so, like, did you watch Heated Rivalry? Like, I have nothing left to like contribute to the conversation. So then I just get a little squirrely because by the third day, I'm like, I don't know you, but like, what am I supposed to talk to you about?
Text me and we'll talk about Taylor. I won't be done.
I have to like talk. Yeah, I'm like, so tell me your thoughts on the wedding.
Well, that's a good one though, because I feel like that's something that kind of everybody is talking about.
The fodder of, and Tony's like, well, I can always talk about work. I'm like, so like the hard market.
Talk about the World Cup.
Oh yeah, World Cup.
Yeah.
I've watched 0 minutes of it, so I couldn't name. I could not name you one professional soccer player other than Messi, and that is only because it's the only one my son can name.
And Ronaldo, like he's like old now, so like, he's iconic. Anywho. You're reading Abby Offsides though, so I feel like that counts. That is your.
I can talk about that. That is my contribution to World Cup soccer.
What are your 1s and 5s?
I'm going to start with my 5. My 5 is that my best friend had a baby last week, and I'm going to meet him tonight. So she had her 3rd boy, and her oldest is my 6-year-old's boyfriend. They have been together since they were 2. But we became fast friends when they were in preschool together. And so, and our kids go to the same elementary school now, but they've actually never not been in the same class. So we're a little worried how 1st grade is going to go if they're not in the same class, but we'll see. But he was 10 pounds, 3 ounces, and he was a week early.
Oh my gosh.
Her first text, her text to me was, he looks like a 2-month-old. And I was like, but she said anyway, I'm taking them Mexican food for dinner.
You go, girl.
So sweet.
I'm going to go see the baby. And then, so my 1-star, like, it's kind of like a first world problem 1-star. I had to get a new laptop. It's a 1-star because, like, it's just one of those things you, like, never want to spend money on. You know what I mean? It's like dealing with something with your car. Like, it's necessary, but it's, like, not what you would personally choose to spend money on. But this started because I've talked about this because Kailey and I were trying to record last week, and like my computer, like if I had Google Chrome open, which is what I use, it was literally just to be open using all the memory my computer had. And so like I could not do video calls at all. Like it was just awful. So I did get a new laptop yesterday that has 4 times as much memory.
Yep.
So it's also kind of crazy. Like in the couple years since I got my last MacBook, how much faster they're like, I guess like I'm not a techie person, but it's crazy to me how like with phones and computers, like just in a couple years, how much they can improve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause like at this point in our technology life, you would think like we've peaked, right? Like what else?
Nope.
What else can you do to this machine? But apparently you can do much. But that is my 1 / like 5-ish because like, yay, it's a new computer. 1, because it was a lot of money. And also computer prices increased 20% like a couple weeks ago. So it was just like,
oh my God. And you're like, cool, of course. Yeah. Good timing.
Yeah. So anyway, Chelsea, what about you? What are your 1s and 5s?
Okay. 1 would be my hand has been hurting a lot because I'm doing a lot of book signing and a lot of typing. And so I'm like trying to be cognizant of not overusing my hand as much. I asked my boyfriend to like rub my hand every night. I'm like, can you please massage my hand? So I've been having some hand pain, but I'm going to start doing stretches and trying to like be proactive about that. And then 5 is I get to go on a book tour next week, which is really, really exciting. Yeah.
Where all are you going?
Oh man, I'm going to Orlando, Chicago, and this might not be in order because I don't have it in front of me. Orlando, Chicago, Des Moines, Franklin, Indiana, St. Louis, Louisville, Dallas,
Wait, when are you going to be in
Brooklyn.
Dallas? Let me look. Is it on? Do
Really?
you know?
20. Well, it's Frisco, which I know is not Dallas. I've been informed that it's outside of
it's not.
Dallas. That is the 21st, July 21st,
Okay.
at the Stonebriar Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
I'm actually doing a partnership with Stonebriar. I'm going there this Sunday, but like it is one of those things, like because our whole family has to go because I have to film. I had to like work it into our calendar. I was like,
Yeah.
Like, from our house, it's like a 40-minute drive. It is like the biggest. So the Barnes and Noble has its own interest, but it's in a mall.
Okay.
And the only way I can think to describe this mall is by telling you that there's a carousel in the middle of it. And I feel like that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yes.
There's also an ice rink. Like,
okay.
There's a lot happening at the mall.
There's a lot happening, yeah.
There's like an indoor skydiving place.
So it's like Mall of America almost.
It honestly, like when it opened, I was in high school and I can remember people comparing it to Mall of America.
Yeah.
I've never been there, but I can remember people being like, oh, except I guess the stores have gotten better. It used to, like, the stores are very, like, I feel like it's very, like, 15 to 25 focused. Like, there were stores in there where I'm like, I don't know what this is, but.
Yeah, you walk past, you're like,
like garage.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Nope.
Like,
I never heard of it. Never heard of it.
But there's always, like, it is, like, swarmed with
the teens.
Children with the
It is what I would assume when I was a teen, like the way we would swarm like a Charlotte Russe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
R.I.P. to like the Charlotte Russe, like a going out shop.
For those listening, if you never got to experience a Charlotte Russe in like 2002,
yep,
and the joy of finding a going out top, and the joy of picking through the bins of like $2 thongs.
With the bubble hem where you thought it was like so flattering and it was like the least.
But it was like where I bought a thong that said like cutie on it or like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like you'd buy those thongs that like if your parents saw it, they'd be like, absolutely not. But yeah.
Man, Charlotte Russe.
Really a throwback.
That's a throwback.
Truly.
So good. So good. And you're like, wow, this top is only $7.99. Like, no wonder
it's basically free.
Basically free.
Yeah. But you could get a whole outfit. You could get a top, shoes, a belt, some jewelry. Like you could go in there with nothing and come out. Oh,
yeah.
Like the bubbles, like the J. Crew like dupe one.
Yes.
Whoever it was.
If you never wore a chevron dress with a bubble necklace, like where
were you even a millennial? Like
that is one trend. Like, please don't bring back the chevron. Like, I'm okay if we don't ever bring back brightly colored chevron, or like when we would wear brightly colored jeans. Like, you would wear like teal jeans and like some sort of striped top and like a giant coral bubble necklace.
Because coral and mint like always went together. We just
always went together.
We didn't know. We just didn't know until we knew, and you were like, "Of course they do." Like hot pink and lime green. Like there are just certain things that just
more is more, just like bright, more color, right?
I walked past I think it was like an American Eagle, maybe it was Hollister, I don't know, recently, and I literally like stopped and looked in like the window display, and I'm like, these are the same clothes I wore like summer of 2003. What is happening? I'm like, I had that same top.
8 times as more expensive now, but like
yes,
like
the same exact
low-rise jeans. We did not need to bring low-rise jeans back. Like that was okay, like going the way of the chevron for me. Like, certain things never need to make a reappearance. Okay, Kailey, are you reading anything new since I talked to you 24 hours ago?
Since literally last night. Did I tell you I'm reading Whistler by Ann Patchett?
No,
which is really having a moment. And nothing's really happening in it. And I kind of knew it going in. It's very character driven. I am like into it. I need to like finish it because I need something like to like pick up. Sampled in stormy weather because I was like, I need to like start it. So I can't wait. I'm like, okay, done, sold, like say less. So I read like 2 chapters, but I was like, okay, this is peak romance. I'm ready for it. So yeah.
Yay.
So I was like, I need to like read this before it comes out next week, but we will get to that.
Okay.
But no, Neely, really nothing else besides those two. What about you?
No, Andrew and I watched the news last night. Sorry, that's so boring. We watched the news and I fell asleep on the couch very early. The heat is actually killing me. And for those of you, if you haven't been listening for a long time, I have POTS, which like you get really bad fatigue with it. And I don't when it's cooler outside, but summer is really hard for me. And I get super fatigued by the end of the day. So I have like a very hard time staying awake. Plus I just wake up early in general.
Yeah.
But no, I was watching the news with Andrew and fell asleep and watched nothing. But I will say randomly, Andrew and I have been watching a lot of How I Met Your Mother, which like we've watched
So good.
all the way through multiple times. But like we're watching it again and we're on season 1. And like I looked at Andrew the other night and I was like, I don't know if there is a funnier season of TV than season 1 of How I Met Your Mother. The way I'm still like cackling at some of these episodes, like it's before Ted Mosby is just insufferable.
Thank you.
Worst character on TV. I'm sorry. But
Thank
like
you.
Ted Mosby and Ross Geller, by the end of both of those shows, they are the same. Like they would get along. Have you ever seen the clip from Friends where like Ross, it's the Unagi episode, but it's without the laugh track and it makes Ross sound like a serial killer? If not, I'm going to DM it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ted Mosby is like insufferable. Like once Sarah Chalk's character like leaves him at the altar, I just feel like everything from that point on, he's terrible. Like, and I only watch the version of the finale of How I Met Your Mother where the mother doesn't die. I don't watch.
It is the
this
worst
is not
ending.
a spoiler. It's been 13 years.
Right.
But Andrew and I watched that ending together and I just like sat in silence for 10 minutes. Like, why?
I'm done.
I don't, why?
I get irrationally angry when I think about that show and like the last season. And I don't
we had
understand.
To watch the whole wedding over 20 episodes for them to get divorced.
Yeah, and then like you meet the mom and then they just like off her. I'm like, what are we doing?
But what's crazy is the creators had an alternate ending on the DVDs where she doesn't die. And I'm like, that's the one you should have aired. Put the alternate ending where she dies on the DVD.
Makes no sense. I get so mad.
To tell that whole story for Ted and Robin just to end up together is that shit crazy. Like, that would be like if at the end of Grey's Anatomy, we find out Meredith died in season 1. Like, which honestly would kind of be a great ending. Like, wouldn't that be crazy if at the end of Grey's Anatomy, she died in that like hand in the bomb explosion and everything else didn't happen?
No.
You're like, it's all a dream.
She never married McDreamy. I refuse.
I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy after he died. So after they killed off McDreamy, I was like, I'm done.
I'm done.
Like you've lost the plot. So
yeah.
Chelsea, are you reading? Are you watching? Are you listening?
I'm reading Undone by Peyton Corinne, which comes out October, which is I have her.
It. I love Peyton. Her books are so good.
They're so good, and she's just such a phenomenal person, and I feel very lucky to be friends with her. And that comes out October, not the 21st. I want to say the 14th. It might be the 13th, 14th, somewhere around there. So that comes out. It's great so far. And then we just started the new season of Silo on Apple TV, which is I feel like it's almost too high level for my brain to comprehend. It's basically a post-apocalyptic society where they all live in silos and like under the ground, like underground.
I feel this to my core. It's too high level for me.
It's too high level because, and I always have questions. Like, I don't know if y'all watch like The Walking Dead, but I always have questions for like these like apocalyptic, like disaster things. I'm like, okay, well, how did we get here? What is happening? Like, So
I watched Paradise, and it's kind of the same vibe of like, I need to know more about how we got to this point where we're all living in an underground bunker.
Yeah, the author was like, where's the backstory?
But so season 3 where's the world building? Season 3 just started, and at the end of season 2, we actually go back to so now like season 1 or episode 1, there's only been one because they do weekly episodes, we have like present day and like past day. So like now we're finally getting the story. Yeah, we're kind of getting the story now. I'm still confused, but we're rolling with it, and it's a really good show.
Did you watch Lost? Were you a Lost
I did not
person?
watch Lost. No.
Okay. Because my husband will not rewatch it, and I really want to rewatch it, but every time I've started it, I'm like, oh, it's like too much of a commitment. Because that was back when we got like 24 hour-long episodes a season, and I'm like, that was a lot to digest.
Now we get like 8 30-minute episodes, and we're like I remember Gossip Girl. Like Gossip Girl did like 6 seasons, but each season was like 30-hour-long episodes.
There was a season of The OC that was 29 episodes.
Yep.
Like,
they don't do that anymore.
Crazy. That's crazy.
They don't do that.
I miss it.
The good old days.
We had no social media to like contend with. So it was like all you had to do was like sit there and watch your show.
Yes, that's it.
And the commercials. Okay, so I think we like are ready to get into the meat of it all.
Yes.
Okay, wait. Tell us about your author journey, but I want to hear. I know you talked about this. I want to hear about like how you became from flight attendant to author. Walk us through that. Like so crazy. I bet you've got great stories.
I was just about to say that.
So I have been flying since 2015. Yeah, 2015, 11 years. And then obviously COVID happened in 2020. And my company, nobody knew what was happening with air travel, the world, anything like that. And so my company was like, if you're able to take a leave of absence, please take a leave of absence. And I said, okay, bye. I'll take a leave of absence.
Bye.
So I took a 3-month leave to start, and then I ended up taking a 6-month leave later. But while I was on leave, I was not sleeping because there was a lot of uncertainty with like the world and just my job and everything like that. So I started reading a lot. I was reading like 35, 40 books a month because I just literally wasn't sleeping. And then I started reading romance, and I was like, okay, I love this. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll try to write a book. And I tried to write a book, and I wrote a book in 2022. And so since then, it's been 4 years of self-publishing as an indie author, and then getting a book deal for In Stormy Weather. And now we're here with it almost coming out, which is absolutely wild that it's been such a long journey. And I am still technically a flight attendant, but I don't know if I'll be returning to work. We'll see, because I do like writing full time, and I like having this as a full-time job. So TBD on that, but that is the very abridged version of how I went from flight attendant to author to full-time author.
Yeah, that's incredible, because you've written and we'll continue to talk about this, but from 2022 to now, like when you look at like on your website all the books you've written, like you're a machine.
Yeah, 15 books. I will say 2 of those are novellas, so they are shorter. And so 13 full length, I think it's 13 full length novels. And I don't know, I don't have children. We don't have children. And so with my job being very flexible, when I was flying, I could write 20 hours a day if I wanted to. I could write 48 hours straight if I wanted to. So I had a very flexible job that allowed me to kind of do what I want when I wanted. And in this post-flying world that I've been in for the last couple months, all I do is write. And I will write at my desk. I'll write at home, like wherever. I'll write wherever. And so I have a very flexible schedule, which has allowed me to write as much as I do. And I recognize that not everybody has such a flexible schedule. And so I always like to throw that caveat in there that I'm not working full time right now. My only responsibility is literally writing, which allows to have more flexibility for that. So, but I have written a lot of books, and there will be a lot more that are whirling around in my head.
Well, speaking of your range of books that you've written about hockey players, contemporary romance, holiday rom-coms. Do you have a favorite or least favorite trope to write about, or both?
Ooh, okay. So favorite trope, I would say, has started to become rivals to lovers, where he's obsessed with her, but she can't stand him. Because my hot take, and I've said this all the time, and people tend to agree with me, my hot take is a contemporary romance can't be enemies to lovers because it's never that serious. Like when I think enemies to lovers, I think like dagger to the throat. They want to kill each other. Like that's what I think of when I think
Romeo
enemies.
and Juliet.
Yes, and like you can't really do that in a contemporary rom-com. And so that's why I always say rivals to lovers. And I feel like I have to have the man obsessed from the beginning. So that's why I always add the caveat of he's obsessed with her, but she can't stand him. So that's like my favorite trope.
I love that so much. It's like when he's like down bad. And I agree with what you're saying about the enemies to lovers, because I feel like it's very hard to do well. So I think your like clarification about being their rivals, because if they're like enemies and it feels immature, I will like DNF. I'm like, this feels so petty. Like you're both adults. Like grow up.
How did you feel about the hating game then?
Oh my gosh, I read that years ago.
So I never read the book until I saw the movie. By the way, do not watch the movie, then read the book. You have to do it the other way around. But I watched the movie and I was like, they hate each other for no reason. And the creepiest part is she's in his apartment and he's like, have you ever noticed the color of my wall? It's the same as your eye. I was like, listen, if he wasn't so attractive, that would be like borderline restraining order.
But I will say like fiction is like, I don't know, like fiction, I'm like, in real life, this would be a red flag, but in fiction, I'm like, that's a green flag. He's obsessed with her. Like, yay.
I also feel like that was one of the first really true. I mean, this book came out, like 10 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
So again, it was like vibes. I think I was like less critical. And it was one of the first true like enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
I think. And like their banter, they really like was like big. So I think their banter was so good. Now I don't know if it would hold up. But no, I think you're
probably right, how I felt reading it.
A really immature, like petty fight, or it's something like unforgivable.
Yeah.
So it's like either way, it's kind of a lose-lose. So I think like when they're just like rivals, like competitors.
I like competitors, like rivals, more than I like straight up enemies. Because like you said, Chelsea, I do not think it's ever that. Like in books that paint themselves like enemies to lovers, it is always where I'm like, this just sounds like y'all miscommunicated one time and have like written that out.
Yes, yes. And I also am like in the camp of like, I feel like society, real life society, like hates women and like they're always bashing women. And I'm like, if like a man is acting like that in a romance novel, I'm going to be like, I'm done. I don't want him. Like, that's just take the trash out. You know what I mean? Now, again, romantasy, fantasy, I think is a little bit different because those have higher stakes as far as like kingdoms and death and whatever. But like a contemporary romance, like if he's being a jerk to her, I'm like, nope, I'm done. I don't need it.
Yeah, but in a romance, he like throws her in a prison because his dad is the king, but then he like gets her out. Like it's fine.
Yes, fine. It's totally fine. Yes, acceptable.
It's just funny how like, I don't know, like what you said about like society hates women. I'm like, valid. I won't bring it back to Taylor Swift. I promise. I'm trying.
But they do.
It's taking every ounce of self-control I have right now.
Do you have a least favorite trope to write then? Like a genre that you like kind of avoid?
Or even read. If you just like have if you don't want to say what your least favorite to write is, you can tell us what your least favorite to read is.
I know, because I'll read anything. I feel like for a while, because I don't have children, I was like not on like the accidental pregnancy train, but then I read like Elsie Silver and I'm like, yep, so okay, I love it, and so
she
did it so well.
You're right. Like there's a caveat to that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Megan Quinn has a really funny accidental pregnancy book. Those three little words. It's one of my it's one of my favorite accidental pregnancies where like before I read that book, I was like, because I think I read that before I read, what is it, Reckless by Elsie Silver?
Reckless, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I read that one first, and I think it's because like obviously Elsie's books are like a little more like heavy, and Megan's are like very funny.
Yes.
And those three little words is like there were points where I was like laughing so hard I had to stop because I couldn't see.
I love Megan Quinn. She is so like, when I think about like author journeys, and I think of like her and Candy Steiner, who have been writing for like 10 years, 11 years. And you look at Megan, who hit the New York Times bestseller list like last year for the first time on book number like 55. Like that is so inspiring.
When we talked to her, I was like, how have you written so like Like,
It's
tell me about your
amazing.
day.
Yes. And
She
she
is very like committed and like
yes.
structured, and I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Like her level of like, I mean, what I like the brain fart. Just when you're very like, oh my god, you guys,
Regimented.
yeah, regimented. It'll come back to me in like 20 minutes when it's no longer like relevant. But yeah,
Oh, did you like how I texted you something last night at like 9 p.m. like that we had talked
that
about
was
12
not
That
hours
you were
earlier?
thinking about.
And
yeah,
it like popped into my head and I was like, doo doo
disciplined. Sorry,
Discipline.
like
Yeah.
what are words? Words are. She's extremely disciplined, and I'm like, hats
Yes.
off to
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
So, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I love Megan Quinn.
Yeah, it takes a special person, I think, to do like an accidental pregnancy and be like, wow, you're like basically a
and
whale
make it
right now.
funny.
And like we
Yes.
still are like interested in like reading about you having sex, even though you're just like, I mean, I did not feel cute. I was like, well, like, but you know,
The last
it's
thing I wanted was to be touched when I was like, get away from me. I feel
Stay
no,
away.
yeah.
literally.
So tell us about, you mentioned this a little bit. Talk to us about going from an indie author to being
Mhm.
trad published and what that's been like.
It's been really lovely. I feel very lucky that I am, with a publisher, partnering with publisher Atria, who they are amazing. And so I released 13, 14 indie books, I think. And then my agent reached out to me. My agent and I got together, and then last year, was it last year? Yeah, everything kind of has bled together the last like 12 months. Last year, she was like, well, what are your goals? Like, where do you see yourself? What do you want to do? And, I said I would love to see my books in bookstores and across the world and everything like that. So she asked me, she said, do you have anything to go on submission with? And I was like, well, I have the hockey. And then I said, well, I also have this. And I was like, I have a meteorologist romance novel that I wrote back in 2022. And she goes, done. Okay. So we went on submission and we went to auction, and then we landed with Atria. And it's been wonderful because they are a great partner as far as like, because I want to stay hybrid. So that means indie
Sure.
and trad publishing.
Yep.
I've
So I'm
heard
not fully
really great things about them just
Yeah.
as
yeah,
a group.
they're amazing. And I never want to be fully indie. I never want to be fully trad. I want to be in the middle, because I think both sides have great pros and cons, or well, I guess not con, but pros that make each side enticing to an author. And so I was like, I want to do both, and they've been very receptive to that, which is not the case with everybody.
Right.
And then they picked up the DC Stars, the hockey series, which has been really exciting to distribute those in bookstores. And now we're a week out from In Stormy Weather, which will be my first real front list title. Yeah. So I know like it's weird because like Face Off and Power Play, books 1 and 2 of the DC Stars are in stores.
I just
but like
pre-ordered it, by the way.
Oh, thank you. But like those were already released and they've been out in the world. But like this is the first like full front list title with Atria, like, that no one else has read. It's its first time being on the shelf. And so it's really
That's
exciting.
so
And
exciting.
they've been wonderful, like publicity and marketing and just editing and having a seat at the table has been wonderful with like cover design and length of the book. And I think we need to add this. I think we need to take this out, that sort of thing. And I do recognize that comes from a place of privilege with that partnership. I know not every author can say that their relationship with their agent, their editor, their publisher looks like that. So I do feel very blessed that that is how my story looks. I know it's not the norm, but I'm excited to kind of see where this partnership goes, and starting next week. And it'll be, I don't know, I'm really, really excited. I have good feelings, and I'm very grateful for them and all the opportunities that they've helped me, to do, especially with In Stormy Weather.
That's awesome.
That's so exciting.
Well, it's wonderful to hear that you had like a great experience too, especially as like, again, like this is your debut, like with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like you've evolved as an author just since you started writing?
So I will say that when I first started writing, I definitely I wrote books to tropes, and I was like, okay, this book has to have this, 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 and this. And I molded the book around those tropes. And now I just write the story that I want to tell, which I think has led to my author brand, which has led to like what you're going to see in every single one of my books: banter, um, a strong, found family, friend groups, all those sort of things. So I kind of had to stop writing the way other people were writing, and I just wrote how I wanted to write. And since then, it's been a night and day difference as far as like reception by readers and everything like that. So it was kind of hard to get out of that mindset of, okay, this book has to have X, Y, and Z. But now when I write and someone asks me for the tropes, I'm like, I can't even tell you like, I'm like, I don't know, like, and in Stormy Weather, I'm like, there's only one bathtub. Like, is that a trope? You know what I mean? So,
hey, okay.
yeah, but I feel like that has evolved my writing to like a new level. And as an author, I always want to be learning and getting better and growing. Not that my earlier books are bad or anything, but it's with any job. The more you do it, the better you want to be, and the more cognizant of you want to be of where you've come from. So I feel like every time I sit down and write a book, and my PA actually just told me this the other day because she read in Stormy Weather the full version, because she'd read the beta version like before anyone else had even seen it, and she texted me the other day and she's like, I just want to let you know that it was phenomenal. And she said, you can see the difference in like your writing. And I was like, that is such a high compliment to me, because like that's all any author wants, is to just keep getting better. So we'll see.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so wonderful to hear. And I guess like probably so like validating. Not that you like need that, but just to see like all your hard work and like over the years, like the growth of it all, and like continuing to hone your craft.
Yes,
must be
exactly.
like so rewarding. Okay, the elevator pitch then for In Stormy Weather, and congrats on book of the month. Like, what was
Thank you. It's
what was
somewhere over here? There it is.
So again, it's like kind of two parts. Can we have the elevator pitch and give us like the synopsis, but also like tell us like what it felt like finding out about, like, getting the call of like, you've been chosen for book of the month. Like, walk us through that.
Yeah. So In Stormy Weather, academic rivals who are meteorologists forced to spend a summer together in Florida chasing tornadoes and hurricanes. He's her brother's best friend. She can't stand him because he's kind of the guy that, so she's like a weather influencer. She has her PhD, but she kind of does her own thing with social media. So she's not in an office. She does her own thing with social media, as far as like weather content goes. And so she's worked really hard to get to where she is. And then he is kind of like the good looking guy who has had jobs handed to him. He's the senior meteorologist on the nightly news, like the national news. Think like Ginger Z, kind of like that level. And like he's hot and everyone loves him. And so she hates that he has had everything handed to him while she has to work harder for everything she wants. And, but he's obsessed with her, of course. And so they're forced to spend a summer together in Florida. And there's banter.
Is there a hurricane?
There's 2 hurricanes and 2 tornadoes. Yes.
Okay. I specifically asked, so I married a guy who thinks that he's like a meteorologist. If you know my husband in real life, like all of our friends will text him if there's like an incoming storm and be like, Andrew, like how serious is it?
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Anyway, loves weather. And I feel like by default, I've like become someone who consumes weather content.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, I don't know. So anyway, it is incoming, or I guess it's technically hurricane season now.
Yep.
I feel like it's more so though, like closer to fall, like
August, September. Yep.
Yeah. I know. Are you a weather person?
I am a weather person. So
it's a thing, guys.
It is a thing. So quick backstory. I grew up in Florida, Orlando, Winter Park specifically, but Orlando. And 2004, we had 4 hurricanes come through in 6 weeks at the state of Florida, including Charlie, which was like massive, total destruction to a lot of the state. And I became obsessed with hurricanes after that. I am not a scientist. I do not have a degree in weather.
So you're like a hurricane hobbyist.
Yes. And so I will look at
that should be in your bio. Hurricane
hobbyist. And it's only hurricanes. Like I don't.
Well, so
tornadoes.
My husband grew up in Houston, and Houston, big hurricane area. Like they've had Harvey, they've like big hurricane area.
Yeah.
And growing up in Dallas, we are like right in Tornado Alley. So like I am unfazed by a tornado. Like we get a tornado warning. I can always tell people who are from like this area of the country and people who are not, because a tornado, like I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, unless I physically see it touching the ground, like, I'm not
You're like,
nervous about it.
Yeah.
But when I was like 100 years pregnant with my daughter, we got a bad, I mean, it was literally like 20 days before I had her. We got a horrible tornado in Dallas. And it like, I mean, it destroyed like the area I grew up in of Dallas.
Yeah.
And it came within a couple blocks of our house to the point where like we had to get our then 2-year-old out of bed and like take him into the closet. And he,
Take
for
him
the
in the
longest
closet,
time, called it a tomato. Be like, do you remember when the tomato happened? And we're like, tornado. But the reason I asked if it's in the book is this is like a very specific microtrope. But like anytime I read a book and there's some sort of weather event that like they're like stuck together. No, I like a weather event in a book.
Well, and like when I was writing it, I was like I said, I'm not a scientist. I am a hobby hurricane hobbyist. And I was like, okay, well, they are meteorologists. How much weather do we need to put in here? And I'm like, well, this is their job. This is their life. She makes her living by doing weather content. So I said, we're going to put in 4 storms, 4 natural disasters. And
wait, so like in Twisters, how the guy is like a weather content creator? You know what I'm talking about? Glenn Powell's character in Twisters is like, he has like his YouTube channel about like going inside of a tornado or whatever.
So that's what she does, but she does it more like scientific. Like she's very scientific, whereas Sebastian is very
for the thrill of it.
Yeah, he's like whatever. But yeah, so it's lots of hurricanes, lots of tornadoes, and well, like 2 and 2. But and yeah, they're forced to spend the summer together, and maybe they'll fall in love. They do fall in love. Spoiler alert.
I mean, spoiler alert, guys.
It's a romance book. They fall in love.
I don't want to read something that doesn't have a happily ever after.
Like, not a romance book. Not a romance book if it doesn't.
No. That's just a love story.
That's just a love story, yes.
There's a love story and there's a romance.
A romance. So. And then as far as book of the month goes, so I posted about this on Instagram when I shared that Instagram Weather was a book of the month pick. My very first book of the month box was April 2021, and I picked People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. And that was my first romance book that I got. And that was it. I was hooked. I started reading romance exclusively because up to that point I was doing like YA fiction, light fantasy, romantasy, and I picked People We Meet on Vacation, and that was it. And so,
did you like the movie of it?
I haven't watched the movie yet. I have been very, very busy, and I've watched 2 episodes of On Campus. Like I haven't really watched anything yet.
Oh my God. You'll have to like DM me and update me when you watch People We Meet on Vacation.
But I loved that book so much, and to know that 5 years later, my book is like in the company of her. And I think Emily Henry is one of the best romance writers ever.
But someone is going to pick your book, and that's going to be what hooks them into romance. Like they're going to get your book. They're going to be like, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to get in stormy weather because I love storms. And then they're going to be like, I'm hooked. And then they're 5 years from now going to be telling their story, and it's going to be like, what got you into romance?
They'll tag me on Instagram because I tagged her, and she commented on it. She's like, this is so cool. And I was like, this is the peak of my author
You're like,
life
I'm
right
done.
now.
I'm done.
That's it right there.
Oh man, that's amazing.
I love a full circle moment. Like there's just something about it that just like gives me the warm fuzzies.
It's wild. I feel very grateful and blessed, and it's like a whole new realm of readers because like I'm coming from KU, Kindle Unlimited, so now more people can read my book, so it's like slightly terrifying but also really cool. But yeah, it's really cool.
This is like a great month for book of the month books, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. If you're a book of the month person, 10 out of 10 recommend. Like if you don't do it, I'm not a physical book person, but when I was a book of the month person.
Book of the month, yeah.
So, big fan. Okay, so you've kind of talked a little bit about this when you're like, you like kind of the flexibility, but do you have a daily writing schedule, or is it like vibes?
It's vibes. I will move around. So like right now I'm in my office. I will like maybe go right on the couch later to like break it up and kind of not feel so monotonous. I'll go down and walk on the walking pad for a little bit. But I don't really, right now I'm on 2 deadlines, so I'm only focusing on those 2 things right now, but typically I don't really have a schedule. I know what I kind of need to get done and what I want to get done, and I make it happen. I am a big like sprints person. So 45 minutes writing, 15-minute break, or like 50 minutes, 10 minutes. And because that way I'm some authors and some writers think in like word count and like chapters. And I don't really think like that. I'm just like focusing on what I'm like currently writing. And so when I think 45 minutes, I'm like, it's only 45 minutes. I just have to do 45 minutes and then I can get up, take a break. And it doesn't feel so like regimented. Like I know I'm getting the same stuff done, but it doesn't feel like I'm having to sit in front of my desk and write 3,000 words at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a little bit more or less stressful. Still get the same things done, but it's just not as, I don't feel like it's as intense. So I love doing writing sprints. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I write everywhere. I'll write on an airplane. If I'm flying to a signing, I'll write in my office on the couch. And I don't know. I'm really flexible. I don't have to have like a whole routine to get in the zone.
Oh, that's nice. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned you have two things that you're working on, or like deadlines. Are you able to tell us, like, besides In Stormy Weather? I know I think we're getting a couple more, or at least one DC stars this year. Can you tell us what maybe like you're working on, or what's next for 2026 or 2027?
So I'm doing like my last listen read through of Crosscheck, which is book 6 in the DC Stars, which will come out August 1st. So after In Stormy Weather. And then book 7 of that will come out later this year as well. And then I'm also doing another holiday book at the end of the year as well. Okay. If you remember in Dashing All the Way, Margot's friend Katarina, she's going to get her book at this Christmas. Snowden, fake dating. It's going to be longer than Dashing All the Way. It's going to be, well, it's not as long as my other books, but it will be like a full length novel. But those are later. So Crosscheck August 1st. And then I'm also working on the draft for the second book in the In Stormy Weather series, which will be next summer. Yay. And I have a meeting with my editor tomorrow in New York to kind of ask like what I'm allowed to share, because I'm going on tour and people are going to ask. And I'm like, and I'm a big yapper. Like I will talk about anything and everything. I'm not good at secrets. So I'm like,
same.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask like how much I'm allowed to reveal and like if I'm allowed to talk about it. And so all I will say for now is I'm working on book 2, which will be next summer.
Okay. So like so much more Chelsea books to look forward to.
Yes. Yep.
That's so exciting.
Okay. So we always kind of end with this question, which is, what are you yapping about at the moment? Like, what are you loving? What are you obsessed with? Can't stop thinking about, can't stop talking about. Obviously, could be Taylor's wedding. Totally fine. But it's Neely's also answer. Okay if it's something else. Like, so what?
Something else.
As an example, like, so what is one for you?
You know, I love every Tuesday is release day in the traditional publishing world. And the thing about being a writer for the last couple of years is I've become friends with other writers and are friendly adjacent, cordial enough to like, I would be like, yeah, I know them, when I'm like, they probably don't know who I am. But so I have loved like the last couple weeks as far as book releases have been so good. Like today's another big day. Next week when In Stormy Weather comes out is a huge day. There's so many good books coming out from now. I mean, the rest of the year, but especially
July
like
is
through like
wild. I feel
July
like I was about
wild.
to say. I feel like July is always like this because usually Emily Henry's books will come out in July.
Yes, we are so stacked, and so like
today,
right now,
Robin Lee, her new book is out today, which I read, and then Laura Marie Meyer's book. The mashup is out.
The mashup,
That
was so Bailey Hannah, Sloane St. James, Georgia. Like, there's so many books. Like, and next week too, like Rachel and Solomon, extracurricular, Christina Lauren, romance revival.
I think George is coming out. I don't know. I don't know if that's
George 6 already out. Yep. Lauren Oakey, that's already out.
And by the way, if you're getting Chelsea's book from Book of the Month, you can actually add on the mashup. It's an add-on this month. So you can get yourself 2 romances and really like dive in to the romance.
Beach will be set for the summer.
Summer. But that's kind of like what I've been yapping about. And like, I hope my books do well. Like, I hope I can continue doing this as a career for 30 more years. But like at the end of the day, it makes me so happy to see my peers, my friends succeed. Every Wednesday morning, I wake up, I check the USA Today bestseller list at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I just love screaming about romance books. I love screaming about my friends' books. And
You're such
so
a girl's girl. I don't
Oh,
no,
thank you.
but the way you say, like, not everyone is like that. And I'm not even just
They're
talking
not.
about the author world. I mean, like, the world. Like,
Yeah.
I tend to live my life by, like, there's enough room for everybody to succeed. Like, everybody has
There's
room.
plenty of space.
There's plenty of space, but not all women are like that. And
No.
I just think, like, it speaks so much to your character.
Thank you.
That is what you're yapping about. Like, it's not yourself. Like, you
Yeah.
have a book coming out, not yourself. No, you're like, let me cheerlead for all these other amazing authors. And, like, as if you guys needed more of a reason to go buy her book, like,
Right.
buy her book. Because
Well, I also
really do think that, but that kind of, like, karma that you put out there, I think, like, pays
Good
back in
energy.
dividends.
Yeah. And I don't know, and I've said this, like, I feel like I posted about this on Threads once, and I was like, you know, bestseller lists come and go, sales come and go, but, like, at the end of the day, like, I hope, like, people remember me for, like, being kind, being nice, supporting other people, and, like, all this could go away tomorrow, like, and that's the thing about publishing, it's such a fickle industry, like, you just don't know what it's going to look like.
Now I feel like I need to drive to Frisco just so I can, like, give you a hug and show you around the chaotic mall and be like, see?
Oh my gosh. I know, we're, like, staying right across
We'll
the street
go to
from
the
the mall, too.
carousel.
Let's go ice skating. I'll show you a great time.
We'll go to the
bad at ice
carousel. Oh, girl, see.
I can't ice skate to save my
We'll
life.
get a Wetzel's pretzel. It'll be a time.
Oh, I love pretzels.
Who doesn't? I cannot walk
that's
past
that's
in a
our clip
mall.
for
I
next
can
week.
not walk past a pretzel without
Oh, yeah.
being like, oh,
80 ands. Yep, sign me up. I want them all.
The salt and the oil. I'm like, like the butter.
I'm like, give them to me.
So good.
oh.
Okay, wait.
Now
So
I
now
just want
just
a
our,
pretzel.
like, really quick. Oh my gosh, I promise I can speak. Our rapid fire. We've only got 3 little things, so it's like whatever comes to your brain first. So, series or standalone?
Interconnected standalones in a series.
Oh, I love it. Same.
Okay.
So I guess that would be a series.
Okay.
Smutty Christmas Story or Fall Romance. I can speak to.
Smutty Christmas Story.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and then because I know you're, like, a big runner and that's like a hobby. So I said, all right, half marathons or 800 repeats.
Wait, sorry, hold on. There we go. Now I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. So I said I know you're a big runner.
Yep.
And that's, like, one of your hobbies. So I said half marathons or, like, 800 track repeats.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Neely's like, I don't know what those are.
I know what a half marathon is.
Okay. That's tough. I'm gonna say I'm an average runner. Like, I am not very fast. Like, my marathon PR is like 4:03, 4:02, which I know is faster than the average time, but, like, I am not.
Marathon.
Yeah,
mine was like 4:30. Mine was not fast.
My half and my 10K are much faster. Like, there's something about when I get to, like, mile 20, like, it's just downhill. Like, it's a marathon. And so, okay, between a half marathon and 800s, knowing I'm not fast, I still might pick the 800s because then I can stop and take a break and collect my breath. And I'm like, it's only 2 laps. It's only 2 laps around the track.
2, like, hellish laps.
2 hellish laps, yep. But I love the track. Like, if I could run a half marathon on a track, I would.
I'm gonna just round and around over and over.
Yep.
I'm kind of the same way though. Like, I would probably prefer that because the pavement is even and, like,
it's flat. You don't have to stop for cars. Nobody's harassing you. You literally can just zone out and just run in a circle and then stop when your watch says stop. Like, and I don't have to know to turn around.
The track. In college, I would run around the track, and I liked it because I'm the same way. I like to completely zone out if I'm doing any sort of workout.
Right.
So.
And you're like, okay, so what are you listening to? This is like, then we'll really let you go. What are your, like, do you have preferred music?
So
are you a headphones? Some people are like, I run without headphones. I'm like, that's your serial killer trait.
Okay,
I do run without headphones.
My friend who just had the baby did that. Are you well?
With no music?
Okay, so here's why I will say that. When I race, I will listen to music.
Sure.
I don't train with music because I like to be situationally aware of what's happening around me.
That is valid because my
Yes.
husband actually hates if I go for walks or something and have my music up loud because he's worried I'm going to get yanked or hit by a car.
Yes. And that has happened to too many people. And so when I do wear them, I will wear aftershocks, which go over the ear and not in the ear. So you can hear everything around you. That is not sponsored. That is just like, I love aftershocks.
Those are the headphones that my husband wears too.
Yep. So. Yep. And you could take them in the pool. You could take them running, walking, whatever. And so I will listen to music during a race, just anything. But when I'm training, no music. I will just, I don't know. My brain never stops when I'm writing. Like I have a million ideas, a million things. It doesn't shut off when I'm going to sleep. The only time it will go quiet is when I'm running. And so it's kind of nice to just be. I mean, like when I'm doing like 20 miles, I'm like, this is awful. I hate it. I wish I had something. Right. But like when I'm doing like 3 or 4 miles, I'm kind of just like, I don't know. I like reach like a Zen state almost. And it's kind of nice to just chill.
Okay. Yeah. I just listen to like myself huffing and puffing and I'm like, wow, you're a really loud breather.
That is also true. Yes.
That's just me. But oh my gosh.
I don't like to listen to my inner thoughts. So I need to listen to music.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. This is wonderful.
Of course.
Schedule and editing and the book tour, and you're about to a week out. So thank you so much, really, for taking the time.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
And can you tell our listeners just like where they can find you other than your book tour, which I will link, but like your socials and everything?
Yes. So Instagram and Threads is at Author Chelsea Curto. TikTok is, I have a couple that I do not run. I want to say my biggest one is at Chelsea Reads and Writes on TikTok. And yeah, I feel like those are the only places. Yeah. So at Author Chelsea Curto or at Chelsea Reads and Writes on TikTok.
And you can find the podcast everywhere at Big Yap Energy. You can find me everywhere at Neelykins. And Kailey, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at KMC Reads.
Yay. And we will talk to y'all next time. Thank you again, Chelsea.
Thank you.